and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Hey everybody, this is Scotty J.
What's up, guys? This is DJ Zach.
Hey guys, you're out with Ambler.
Rock Titan Live on W4CY Radio. Tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Zach, and you're listening to Rock Titan Live
on W4CY Radio.
You are listening to Rock Titan Live.
Tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern to Rock Titan Live.
Tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
This is Scotty J.
DJ Zachy D.
Out with
Rock
Ambler.
Titan Live on W4CY Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rock Titan Live. I am your host, Scotty J. It is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, January 21st. And if you are listening on W4CY right now and you would like to see everything that is going on, please go out to the website, w4cy.com, and click on Talk for TV. We got a great show for you today. Usually I can tend to ramble on a little bit about news and events, and sometimes I'll talk to Dee down there in Florida and whatnot while we're queuing up our next guest. But the fact of the matter is we have some amazing guests today, following up from NAMM last week as well as the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. So we've got guests today, one of which is over in Croatia, and I don't want to keep him waiting. Dino Jelusic from Dirty Shirley. Amazing. His guitarist is George Lynch, Lynch Mob, Dokken, unbelievable. Will Hunt, drummer from Evanescence. It's going to be a lot of fun talking to him, and I want to give him some time to chat. And then right after we get done talking to Dino, we are going to be talking with one of our favorite people on the planet, Sean the Hell Destroyer Peck from the Three Tremors, Cage, and Death Dealer. We're going to get some updates from him as far as what's going on. So without further ado, I'm just going to get right to it. I'm going to give these guys a call on the phone, and we're going to bring them in here, and hopefully video's good, and you'll be able to see everything. D, are you ready to go down there in Florida? All right, so when I say that we're going over to, Dino, I'm just going to say we're going to give him a call right now, all right? That's when, everybody should see this call kick off with Dino. All right, so everybody, again, this is Dino Jelusic from Dirty Shirley. Let's give him a call right now. I'm Scotty J, and you are watching Rock Titan Live. As you can see on my screen right now, we've got an awesome guest with us. I cannot wait to get into what this guy's got going on all the way from Croatia right now. We've got Dino Jelusic from Animal Drive, in the past, but the most recent thing he's got going on, January 24th, he's got a brand new album coming out with George Lynch, and it is called Dirty Shirley. How you doing, Dino?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Hey, it's cool, man. It's cool, We're at the peak of winter over here in the States. I'm on the East Coast side. Had a little bit of snow the other day. What's it like over there in Croatia right now?
It's kind of snowing.
Yeah.
It started yesterday.
Okay.
It's not that bad. I play table tennis in the morning, so it's not that bad.
Right on.
But it's pretty cold. It's very different from the West Coast right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's where you'd rather be. It's funny because we were just talking. Of course, NAMM is going on right now over there in Anaheim. And were you supposed to be there? Were you supposed to be at NAMM?
Yeah, I had some appointments with. I had some talks with Gus G because he's playing in Whiskey. So
Gus G, yes sir. Yeah.
I was supposed to play with him. I had some talks with Glenn Sobel from Alice Cooper about the Viper Room, and I had talks with Doug Aldrich, with George Lynch about, the NAMM Jam.
Yeah.
But I had to go back, and because I just delivered the second Animal Drive album.
Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna deliver it tomorrow. Finally.
Okay.
It's gonna be that's gonna be probably my best album of this year. Dirty Shirley comes out in 5 days. I have another 4 albums I'm going to be on this year. 2 are going to be guest appearances, and 2 are going to be, 3 are going to be like guest appearances, and 4th one I co-wrote an album with a very famous drummer. So that's the last album of this year.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So for people that are not necessarily familiar with Dino Jarusic right now, or your band over there, Animal Drive, this new album you have coming out with George Lynch, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the other guys, on this. We got Trevor Rocks, and then Will Hunt, from Evanescence, drummer who, he's playing with Evanescence most recently. I listened to this debut album, Everybody Again, Dirty Shirley, coming out January 24th. Oh my God, the very first song out of the gate that you had, Here Comes the King. When I first heard you, Dino, literally, and I don't care what anybody thinks of this statement I'm about to make, because I realize just how profound it is, but I was literally thinking, oh my God, this sounds like Dio. Like Ronnie James Dio. Have you ever heard that comparison before? You have such an amazing voice that I don't think can be boxed into any one style, sound, or genre. But on some of the songs you had on this album, it was really like, holy crap. Like, wow. Have you ever had the Dio comparison before?
Yeah. Well, most comparisons I get are Dio, Coverdale, and Ray Gillen, which is kind of accurate because I did a Ray Gillen cover and the internet exploded once it came out.
Wow.
I did a cover EP with Animal Drive. We covered Judgment Day. That sounds very close to Whitesnake. So,
sure.
but there's a lot more. I mean, I used to sing in a groove and thrash metal bands, and that's where my Phil Anselmo influence shines. That's something I don't get to show in more hard rock kind of thing. Then when I did like more of a poppy thing, then you hear a lot of Elton John and Toto. So yeah, I'm a pretty big mess as far as music.
Well, I mean, you have such an amazing range, and the octave levels that you can reach. I mean, that whole spectrum is really impressive. And it's funny because I was looking over a little bit of your history. I was checking out your bio. And, of course, you're a huge sensation over there in your neck of the woods. And, I have no doubt that you're going to be one of the biggest names in rock and roll and heavy metal over here in the States as well. But I know that there was a point in time where you were kind of doing like some competitions, contests and stuff, even that made like television and whatnot. And you went through this time of puberty. As you were going through puberty, obviously your voice is changing. And I guess you had to kind of adapt to that, but you didn't mind. It was one of those things where you had a certain sound, obviously, when you were much younger, but then all of a sudden, you start to come into your manhood, with that voice changing, but it was a very welcome transition. Yeah. I mean, let me ask you this. Was there anything when you were really, really young, like prepubescent, where like, oh, I wish I could sound like this. I wish I could sing like this. And then all of a sudden, when you get into your late teens, early 20s, it's like, yeah, man, now I'm hitting that sound. I'm getting exactly what I wanted to get when I was younger. Did that happen?
I mean, when I was a kid, I had a huge success in my country, and I won this Junior Eurovision, which was huge in Europe. I actually had a tour with UB40 when I was a kid with Sugar Babes. It was a completely different thing. But since I was a kid, I always loved 80s rock, 70s rock, and I kind of wanted to go that direction. So when my voice changed, I pretty much lost it all. I couldn't sing high. You can't sing low. You have this voice that's so not worked out. So it took 4 years for me to kind of find that high register, and then I found the low one, and then from that moment I was starting to kind of listening to a lot of Bjorn, to a lot of Eric Martin, a lot of Coverdale, my buddy Russell Allen from TSO, Jeff Scott Soto, listening to all these all their bands, and listen to all the classics like Queen, Chicago, Boston, Toto, Aerosmith. I kind of knew where I want to go. I didn't know how can I get there, but I was constantly doing acoustic gigs, and at one point everything just opened up. I kind of met my voice, and from that moment on, I was just building and putting little things on it. And back then I had an album that I did in Australia with a fake David Bowie producer who was it was like a scam, which was a very very expensive scam. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
And back then I thought, this is my breakthrough album. This is what's gonna, make an impact, blah blah blah. And you always have that, this is either I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna quit. And I'm glad that nothing happened from that album, because now hearing Dirty Shirley, hearing this new Animal Drive, hearing all the little bands I did in the last couple of years that didn't make like some success, and listening to the songwriting I did and how I sound, I'm really glad I didn't make it, as a 17-year-old, rocker in making. So I sense that things are opening up right now, and I think now is the right time, because I feel like I'm ready for something.
I tell you what, Dino, I think this is a decade that you are absolutely going to own. And again, everybody, we are here with Dino Jelusic, and oh man, one thing I'm very interested in, just because, your native country being Croatia, and, I've actually looked at some other interviews that you've done over in your neck of the woods, where I guess you're speaking your native Croatian. Do you speak any other languages other than Croatian and English, like would Serbian or,
Serbian, well, Serbian is pretty much very similar to Croatian,
okay,
which you're not allowed to say because there was a war in the 90s, and, Croatia and Serbia were in Yugoslavia,
sure,
which was mainly Serbia, and then we split. But I can talk with a Serbian guy. I play with some Serbian musicians, and
wow,
it's pretty much the same. It's like Bosnian. It's very very similar.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that too, as well as Bosnian. I mean, just all the Slavic countries and the languages in the region. Okay.
The thing is, Serbian, Croatian, and Bosnian are really similar. Russian, Ukrainian are similar to each other, but not to Croatian. Bulgarian is something in between. Macedonian is closer to us, but not really. It's kind of complicated. But I do speak Italian besides English and Croatian. Yeah.
Wow. So you are quite the cultured man, quite the cultured individual. That's really interesting. Now, one of the other things, Dino, that I'm curious about, just because obviously, you've done your share of singing, in Croatian. When you're doing your songwriting, I guess even for the songs that you sing in English, this might be a stupid question, but I mean, relevant nonetheless. Do you write your songs in Croatian and then sing them in English, or do you, any songs that you sing in English, do you originally write in English? I'm just curious, like, how that all took place, that evolution, because obviously you gotta walk before you can run, so you gotta talk before you can sing. So I'm imagining, was it a challenge to begin singing in English, or you just started learning at such a young age that it wasn't really a factor?
I started learning English at a very young age.
Okay.
I started traveling around the world in 1999. So
okay.
I mainly write songs in English. I was in a very popular show last year in Croatia. I gave up on career in Croatia because it's such a small market. Everything is in lobbies and everything is filled with thrash pop and folk, and it's awful. And I didn't want to do anything. now everybody wants me to do songs in Croatian.
Right.
And the thing is, while I was writing some English songs, I made a Croatian versions. But compared to English is so fluid with phrasing and stuff. And when you hear some of other Croatian singers, I can hear that they've been listening to Croatian singers, when they were kids.
Okay.
And my phrasing is a lot more American than I don't have any native mellows in my voice. You can't tell, okay, this guy is very because I know that Jeff Scott Soto, when he heard me, he said, I can hear the accent when you talk, but when you start singing, I would never guess that you were not American. So
completely agreed. Yeah, completely agreed. Completely. Yeah.
It's Mike Portner said it once. You are what you're listening to, and I've been listening to English music since I was a kid. So
right.
I kind of grew in that direction.
Right on. Well, I want to talk some Dirty Shirley here, man. Dirty Shirley.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out January 24th. Love the album. I can't wait to get it myself. I've only had a chance to listen to some of it online, but oh my God, man. Like, literally, this is like one of the most heavy metal albums, like just, and it's awesome. You know, and you throw George Lynch in there, just the iconic guitarist that he is, and it was so awesome just listening to him just jam away, you know, like you could just feel it. How did this ensemble, how did this cast that is Dirty Shirley come together?
Well, you know, we're both in the same label. Well, George is in many labels. He's with KXM, he's in a different label. And then there's Dokken. I'm not sure if Dokken is on Frontiers or not.
Right.
Lynch Mob is on something else.
Mm-hmm.
But he had like one more album in contract, and my label director said, I want to hook you up. So Animal Dry was playing Frontiers Rock Festival, and Serafino was so stoked after our set, because we were the second band to play that day, so it was about 4 p.m., and most of the people were there when we were playing, so it was insane, because we were playing with Kip Winger, with Bjorn, White Riot, you know, all those big names. I'm a big Winger fan.
80s, man. It was like the 80s, you know, heyday, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, we have the 80s catchiness, but we have a lot more, you know, we have some very heavy riffing.
Right on.
We have some very Pantera riffing. We have some very proggy phrasing. There's a lot of different influences combined, and that's what I think is cool about Animal Drive. You'll hear on the new album, it's like putting, you know, Nevermore, Queensryche, and Alice in Chains together, and you get the perfect Seattle blend, you know, at once. That's what I'm, you know, you can be a copycat and do something more, you know, in the music business. But let me get back to the Lynch thing.
Right.
So Serafino said, I want to take you and put you with a legendary guitar player, and I want to see how that works. And he said, it's either going to be Doug Aldrich or George Lynch. And I said, and I said, I'm in.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, at that time, Doug was doing Dead Daisies, Revolution Saints,
Yep.
Burning Rain, and something else.
Yeah.
So he said, you know, I can't put this album on top of everything I'm doing. But, you know, there's George Lynch. He can do 20 records a year. He doesn't have a problem with that. So you know, he started tracking demos in September. He had no idea who I am. That's the funniest thing.
Okay.
So he wasn't even responding to my emails. And I said, okay, so the only way I can get his attention is actually sing on one of the demos, do some, you know, sing random lyrics. So just he has, you know, a vision how it sounds.
Right.
And the first song I did was Dirty Blues. I just started singing something, and I got a reply within 3 minutes. He said, "Oh my God."
That's awesome.
He said, "I am so sorry. I thought you were an Italian pop singer they were offering me. I had no idea you can sing like this, and then you can write songs like this. I cannot wait to send more."
Yeah.
So then he sent Siren Song and Dying, and as soon as he sent Here Comes the King, which was called Priest Mountain, he called it Priest Mountain on a demo.
Okay.
I told him, George, you have no idea. I said, this will be the new Dio thing.
Dude.
I said, as soon as I've heard the riff, I said, I have a melody already. The song will have a king in the title. I'm sending you vocals in 2 days. Give me some time. I'll write it like this.
Wow.
I have a lot of ideas. As soon as he heard Here Comes the King, like the amount of compliments he gave me in the email, I was just smiling, you know, from ear to ear.
Right.
And then, so then we started working on different songs. You know, there's Escalator to Purgatory, which is like a ZZ Top with Alice in Chains blend, kind of. Then you have a Grandmaster, which is like an Indian yoga song with me doing like a canon. Then there's, you know, Last Man Standing, very cult kind of thing. There's I Disappear is a very modern metal, like Evanescence kind of thing.
Okay.
And, you know, he told me that this is probably in top 5 albums he's ever done, and that he cannot believe that we never met and that we did album, this good. The thing is, 2 songs almost didn't make it on the album because Serafino didn't like them. The one is Cold.
Okay.
Which
All
is very Lenny Kravitz kind of riff, very Chris Cornell kind of choruses. That's what he didn't like. He wanted something more 80s. And my favorite song on the record is called Higher, but the version
I love that one. Yeah.
But the version that me and George love the most is the one that's gonna be a bonus track, because Frontier said there's no way we can put this song is a mess, because I was doing the spoken verses, I was doing a very Badlands type of chorus, but then in the end you get all the epic atmosphere with 7-string guitars, you get the orchestra, I do choirs, and then everything goes back to the chorus. So we put that version as a bonus track version. We did more something, with a better flow on the album. But you gotta hear the bonus track version. That's my favorite song, and George said that's one of the best songs he's ever wrote and one of the best solos he's ever played. And this album is really. I'm really proud of what we've done.
You should be. You should be. And again, everybody, we are here with Dino Jelosic, and this album, Dirty Shirley, it really is something else. And I love how you just went through like every single track on the album. There might have been a couple you left out, like a Siren Song, A Voice of the Soul, but we got 11 tracks on this album coming out. And I mean, to get such high praise from a legend like George Lynch, I mean, that had to have you grinning from ear to ear, I would imagine.
I mean, not only that, when I found out that Will Hunt would be playing drums.
Right?
I mean, give me a second.
Yeah, he's been around too.
This is my favorite Zakk Wylde album.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah.
And that's where Will Hunt played drums on.
Right on.
And he played with the Static X.
Yeah.
Which I used to play a lot when I was in one of those metal bands, and he plays with Slaughter now.
Okay.
If you know. So when I found out that the guy who played on my favorite Zakk Wylde record will do drums for this, I said, okay, this is it. And Will, he's such a nice guy. And when we posted the first single, one of the things he wrote, he said, this is one of the coolest records I've been on. And he said, you got to check out this singer, but this is only like one side. Like, this is like a Dio side of him. You got to listen to the rest of the album, because there's so many different vocals on the album that you don't expect. So please, like, buy this album. Don't listen to the singles. You got to listen to the whole record. And that's what I really love about this album. Is every song has a different story.
Yeah. Well, January 24th, everyone's going to know what Dirty Shirley's all about. Now, you've got your other band, Animal Drive, and, you just, we're talking not too long ago about how that album is, like, imminently, did it already come out, or is that going to be coming out after Dirty Shirley?
So the first record came out 2 years ago.
Right.
Then we did, like, a cover EP last year.
Right.
This new record, called Follow the Blind Man, is coming out in May.
Okay.
Yeah. The funny thing is, we did everything for that album before my TSO tour, and I was recording vocals during the tour, so I had 2 shows a day.
Yeah, shame on me. I left that out, everybody. Yeah. Because Dino here also is one of the vocalists with Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's huge. That had to be fun. I know we've had Chloe Lowry on our show.
Chloe's the best. Chloe's the best.
Beautiful voice, beautiful person. I mean, she's just amazing.
Chloe's just out of this world.
Yeah. So, I mean, being able to sing with an outfit that's, like larger than life. I mean, TSO is just huge. I mean, it's like come to epitomize really the holiday season. I mean, it's like their music, it fits with Christmas so well now, Did that
I know.
Did that get you in the spirit of the holidays?
Yeah, I mean, and the people in TSO, like when you see the amount of people involved, when you see the names in the band. I mean, you said Chloe Lowry, we have Jeff Scazzotto on our side. On the East, you have Russell Allen from Symphonix, you have Caleb Johnson, the American Idol winner. There's Kayla Reeves. She's one of my favorite singers, female singers, in global. Then there's the woman, the girl, woman, whatever you call her, that we did a collaboration with on the Look cover from Roxette. Rosa, she's an amazing singer.
Right.
So then there's Erica Jerry. She sings with Lenny Kravitz. She's also in TSO. Then, there's Georgia Napolitano. There's Joe Hoekstra from Whitesnake. There's Blas Alas from Slaughter. Jeff Plate and Middleton from, Sabotage. There's Al Pitrelli from Megadeth playing guitar.
Pitrelli, yeah.
I mean, there's, the list goes on.
And there's Dino Jelusic, man. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. How in the world are you going to divide your time, with all these different projects? I mean, obviously, Animal Drive's your baby. You've been, and those are your homeboys, going back years now. But I'm just telling you, and everybody else out there with Dirty Shirley coming out here, this is going to get a lot of acclaim. I really believe that this album, this cast that you guys are, is going to get some mad attention. Are you prepared for it?
Well, to be quite honest, it's coming out in 5 days.
Yeah.
Since I mentally know it's only my first album of the year, and you haven't heard how new Animal Drive sounds, because when you hear that, I think
this is true. Yeah.
Because Dirty Shirley is awesome, but with Animal Drive, unlike Dirty Shirley, I've been working on Animal Drive for 2 years on this album, and I'm gonna give on that album. I'm gonna give from Elton John to Pantera, and that's what I'm really excited for.
Wow!
Like, if you think this album is diverse, that album is even more messy and diverse. You get taste of, and I actually did a lot of keyboard solos, a lot of Hammond solos, a lot of guitar solos, because I play keys.
You do play keyboard, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Then I'm gonna be featured on new Lords of Black album. Then there's an album with a secret drummer that I mentioned. I'm gonna be on the new album, another album from Frontiers, and I'm gonna do a guest appearance for one of my favorite prog metal bands. I'm gonna do a song with them.
Okay.
Might be a single. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But first things first. I really hope some of the songs from Dirty Shirley get attention, because I think some of the songs are something that I've never heard before. Like Grandmaster is a song I've never heard that type of song ever before. So hopefully people see the quality of some of the songs, and I hope it won't stop on the singles. That's what I'm mostly afraid of, as a songwriter. When you work on songs so much, and then they pick one or two songs and they just left everything else as album tracks, and nobody knows about those songs. That's what I'm always afraid of. Hopefully, Dirty Shirley won't be the case.
Well, Rock Titan's going to be pushing the entire album, all 11 tracks of it, Dino, because it is awesome. I know you got to go. I really appreciate your time. Kind of parting thoughts, something I'm really curious about, and I'm sure all your fans are going to be curious about too, especially over here in the States, because I already know you are a tremendous rock star over there in Europe. Is there any talk about you touring with Animal Drive, or are you going to even be doing anything over here with George Lynch and Company, Dirty Shirley, over here in the States, anytime in 2020?
Well, we have actually huge plans for Animal Drive, because we have a pretty big booking agent since this year, and we have a pretty big manager since this year. So we have plans to do some stadium gigs in Europe with one of the biggest rock bands on God's earth right now.
Uh-huh.
We'll see how that goes. As far as Animal Drive in the States, hopefully they cut the visas for Croatians.
I was going to say visas, I know, are an issue. That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it's also a problem of Croatia, so it's okay. But a lot of TSO fans are asking me if I'm gonna come with Animal Drive, because some of the songs got radio rotation and people know it. Hopefully that happens. As far as Dirty Shirley, that's why I wanted to go to NAMM to kind of sit down with George and see his plans, because I wanted to do a mini tour with Dirty Shirley, but George is doing a lot of Lynch Mob dates.
Right.
He's working on the guitars back home. If you're following him on Instagram, you know how much he's working on the guitars.
Right.
Will is touring a lot. To get us three first, and then Trevor in the end. I would really love to do a couple of gigs with Dirty Shirley and see how it goes.
Man, I'd just love to hear you live, man. I mean, seriously. It's tremendous. It's tremendous. Well, Dino, I am going to let you get on with the rest of your day. But oh my God, what an honor and what a pleasure it's been speaking with you. And again, everybody, we are here with Dino Jalusic, and you go out, check out the music that he's already done, with Animal Drive, and just in a few days' time, we're going to be hearing this brand new album that he just put out with Dirty Shirley, George Lynch, on lead guitar. We got Will Hunt on drums, and then we got Trevor Rocks on bass. And I'm telling you, folks, I've heard it. It's tremendous. And when you hear Dino, you're literally you're gonna lose your minds. You're gonna lose your minds, because it is really that awesome. Some people say these days over here in the States, particularly, whatever happened to rock and roll, whatever happened to metal, where did it go? Well, I'll tell you right now, it's in the heart and soul of Dino, all right? And he's going to blow your mind. He's going to blow your mind. I'm telling
Thanks,
you.
Man.
I'm telling you, Dino.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
I mean it. I mean it from my heart, dude. As soon as I heard that album, I mean, the first song, I'm just like, what? I mean, like, literally, yeah. Oh, it just tremendous. Yeah, I was even playing it for my kids, because I've got some younger kids that are growing up, and I'm trying to raise them right, man. I'm trying to raise them right. I'm like,
you gotta raise them right. I agree with you. Man.
I'm like, kids, you gotta listen to this dude right here. This is it. This is metal. This is rock and roll. This is the kind of music that you should be listening to, because this is the guy that you're gonna grow up with. Like I grew up in the '80s, like with Doug Aldrich and George Lynch and all these guys that you've been talking about, Soto and company, all those guys. I grew up in the '80s with all those musicians. Well, you are now, in the United States at least, you're part of this whole new generation that's coming up in the 21st century versus the 20th century, and I could not be more thrilled. So
wow,
yeah,
there was a lot of energy. I appreciate that.
Well, I bring that. Everyone's probably going to go out and comment right now. Yeah, that guy's probably done a whole lot of blocaine. That guy is totally jacked, amped on something. He's probably had a whole 6-pack of Red Bulls. I don't do that stuff, people. I just don't do that stuff. If they sponsored me, maybe I would. But, we'll throw that out there. But no, I don't do energy stuff because I don't need stimulants. I really don't. They get me too anxious, and I don't like having anxiety. I need stuff to bring me down,
Wow.
But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
But Dino, you definitely got my batteries charged, and I cannot wait for January 24th. January 24th, Dirty Shirley. And again, Dino, thank you so much. It's been a privilege.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
it was
man.
my privilege.
You got it. Everybody, I'm Scotty J. You are watching Rock Titan Live. We're out. All right, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed that conversation that we just had with Dino. That was pretty epic, if I do say so myself. But on the line right now, we cannot keep this guest waiting anymore. He's chomping at the bit to talk to us. Our very good friend out of San Diego, California, one of the 3 Tremors, Sean Peck. And we're going to give him a holler. We're going to dial him up right now. Hey, everybody. So I am back on Rock Titan Live, and I've got one of my favorite people on the planet with us right now. For those of you that actually listen to the opening of Rock Titan Live, that music that you hear is like part of our grand intro, is that of the 3 Tremors. And we've got one of the 3 Tremors with us right now, Sean the Hell Destroyer Peck.
Yeah, hey, dude. Good to see you again.
Yeah, Sean, it's always a pleasure. And man, it's hard to believe we actually go back now, man. I can say, man, Sean and I, we go way back, like we go back to the beginning, like before 3 Tremors was even going on. And for that matter, another one of your projects, I don't know what the status is, but we can certainly talk about that, Denner Sherman, before you even got involved with that, with those 2 legendary cats. And now here we are, you're already working on another 3 Tremors album, and you got the 3rd Death Dealer coming out here real soon. Man, you're a busy guy.
Yeah, man. I can just give you the rundown. So yeah, new Death Dealer has been done for a while. We're just negotiating with a couple, 2, 3, 4 labels. Really cool. Like, we were going to put it out on our own Steel Cartel label, but because of the what I got going with all this, the tours and the bands, I don't know that we'd be able to work it properly. So we're gonna, we go, well, maybe we'll have a regular label, take a listen to it. And like every label we've sent it to wants the album, so that's been cool.
That is,
normally you're just getting rejected, like no, and so we got a little bit of a bidding war going on for that, which is cool, and it's nice to be wanted. It's always nice to be wanted. So yeah, and that the Death Dealer is, man, those first two Death Dealer albums are so good, and in order to even come close to those first two, I'm just like, I don't know, but the people that we've let hear it are all about it. So maybe I'm just being paranoid, but I think we got another home run on our hands, and there's going to be some touring. We're talking maybe September, October, so there might be some U.S., there might be some Europe. We're going to try and pick. It's not going to be like a giant tour. We're going to pick like specific spots.
Okay.
And make them special, and so there's that coming out. Yeah, we're deep into the new Three Tremors record. Dave and I were just reviewing, the stuff that we have, and we've got like literally like 10 or 12, but probably like 4 or 5 songs done.
Wow.
And then like another 8 or 9 that are like in good shape, and then we're going to be working on a Cage record too. So. Because Cage is going to do some touring in next March in Europe. We got a couple festivals that we're doing, and then there's all and then you want to talk about the Denner Sherman stuff.
Well, I mean, what is going on with that? Because I guess not too long ago in the news, I saw that Denner and Sherman were kind of at odds with one another. There was like there was a little rift there, a little temporary rift. Is that have they kissed and made up, or is there still some stuff going on there?
I don't think there's ever going to be any kissing or making up there, man. Like,
okay,
I'm a big King Diamond, Merciful Fate fan, and to do a Merciful Fate reunion after all these years and not have Michael Denner is just completely ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
and the way that it was handled is just gross. One of my pet peeves in music, being in bands this long and going through members and stuff, like you become friends with these guys and you become brothers with people, and, you share a lot of times together, and those guys are, have, 40 years together as, basically brothers, and they're a legendary guitar duo. And then the way that it was handled, where they rolled out that press for Merciful Fate, didn't even mention Michael Denner, like no one would notice, and then the fan backlash was just like, what's going on? There's no Michael Denner. Why?
Right. How can you have Hank Sherman and no Michael Denner? I mean, that's like that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, and it's like I said, that one of my pet peeves is when if you leave a band, or you don't want to be in a band anymore, or there's a difference, you should be able to talk on the phone or talk to somebody face to face, especially when you have a relationship with them. When people just like hide behind emails and social media posts in order to say what's going on and spring stuff on people, it's so cowardly, man.
Yeah,
and I'm really disappointed in how that all went down. But on a good note, there may be something happening with the remnants of what's left behind. That's all I can say. Right,
well, obviously it's with Denner, so you still got something going on there, because I know you guys are cool. It's just a bummer though, man, because I remember when Denner Sherman first came out, and I saw a Son of Satan, that music video. My God, that thing was like epic, like everything you're doing now with the Three Tremors. It's just on another level with all the CGI, and the green screen and everything. I mean, it is just unbelievable. And it was like, wow, you really got something going here, with these legendary guitars from Merciful Fate, King Diamond. Man, I mean, it's a bummer that was the first. It was the first, right?
It was the first time, that we captured, that the Merciful Fate vibe was recaptured really with those two records. And that's, getting that magic it was a cool combination of all of us together and putting those songs together. And it's a shame, but maybe we'll be able to capture it again. moving forward.
Well,
That's all I
everything
can
happens
say.
for a reason. That's cool. That's cool.
I
Well,
hate
if there's one
I
guy-
hate it when I hate it when people say, "Oh, I can't really say anything about it." That drives me nuts on interviews. Like, "Oh, it's all top
and here
secret."
you are
but
doing it to
it's
me,
all top
Sean. Here
secret.
you are doing
Yeah.
it to me. I love it.
You'll be the first to know, though. You'll be the first to know.
I'll hold you to that. That's cool. That's cool. But it's cool though that you're still gonna be doing something at some capacity with that grouping, I guess, some spawn off of that. Speaking of which, going back to Death Dealer, was Ross the Boss? He wasn't involved with your earlier albums with Death Dealer, was he? I mean, that was you and Stu Marshall and company. Was Ross the Boss on those too?
Of course, yeah. Ross was in it from the start.
Okay, all right. So
Yeah.
obviously he's got Ross the Boss Band, and now you guys are putting out a third one with him. And I know back when I spoke with Stu, I mean, he's just like, just playing alongside, Ross from Man of War, of course. I know for him that he was one of his idols, growing up as a guitarist. So that's pretty cool that you guys have that going on. I'm always amazed, with all these projects that you have going on, and it's like you're the front man / manager of, most, if not all these projects, I guess, between Gage, Death Dealer, Denner Sherman, the Three Tremors, because I know that Tim Ripper Owens, he leans on you, I would imagine, quite a bit to handle everything that is Three Tremors. And you guys got some really cool stuff going on there. But all that being said, with all this aggressive touring that you no doubt have planned, especially over in Europe, because that's where the money's at. How's
Not necessarily.
No, I thought it was money's just raining from the skies over there.
The United States, man, we're we just did a Europe run with the Tremors, and now we have a big U.S. run. We're doing a week from today, we leave to do 3 shows in Texas and 3 shows in Florida.
Right.
Going to be down there doing the Super Bowl, so that'll be cool.
Oh.
But then we go to the UK like a week after that. We never toured the UK. We did 1 show. Then we're going to see how that goes. We're headlining a festival with Rhapsody in Birmingham, which is going to be cool. But then we do like 16 shows on the East Coast and the Midwest. I'm sure I'll see you out there somewhere.
Yes, awesome.
That's at the end of March and beginning of April. And there's another festival that we're doing in Milwaukee, the Blades of Steel Festival. You got to check that out. The lineup's really cool.
Nice.
The demand in the U.S. is really strong, man. And
very cool.
And so we're going to do. There's going to be a pretty heavy focus on the United States here because the demand. The record's selling really good here, and the promoters are demanding it, and there's just more and more cities coming up. So we are doing. After this U.S. run, we are going to do probably some shows in July. In Europe, though, we're doing the Headbangers Open Air Festival, which is another killer lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Going to play Copenhagen again, and then maybe a festival up in Sweden. So it's cool, man. We're slowly, we started this from scratch, the Three Tremors, and it's slowly building. And people want it. When people see the live show, man, they just that's when the sales made. Because you saw, there's nothing really like it, man. They're in the metal scene. It's a unique thing, and if you like that kind of singing and that kind of power thrash metal mixed in with some classic songs, I mean, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, right on, man. And of course, the Three Tremors we are talking about is, Harry the Tyrant Conklin and Tim Ripper Owens and Sean the Hell Destroyer Peck. So, and those guys are so busy with their own projects as well. I know, especially Ripper, it seems like he's always got something new going on. So you're able to, coordinate schedules, I guess, pretty well with those guys to make, Three Tremors more of not just some side project, but it's really become one of the main projects for all you guys at this point, huh?
Yeah. Ripper's got something big coming up that he'll announce.
I can't talk to you about it. Yeah, no, can't tell you. Yeah, that would be for Ripper to tell me anyway. So that's all good.
Yeah, but and then he's got the Dio holograms going to be doing shows. But so far we've been able to mix the schedules have worked out okay, and we're just having fun with it, man. And it's like I said, it's fun. and we really like the original songs. We're doing another record, and there's really no sign of us stopping. So
that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Maybe we'll see you all in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame someday, huh?
Dude, let's talk about the Rock and Roll, or the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. It's now a thing. Like this is the year where it made its mark, and I think it's just going to get more legit, bigger. Like I said, everyone goes to NAMM anyways, and like anyone who's anybody for metal is going to want to go to this thing because it was just like a killer hangout, and everyone, the speeches are cool, most of them, where it's not just like Stephen Pearcy, Jeff Tate, and Metal Church gave like 2-sentence acceptance speeches, but this thing isn't designed for that. This thing is designed for these guys to go up for like 10, 15 minutes and really tell the story. Like last year, Bill Ward, the drummer from Sabbath,
right?
I mean, his speech was like amazing. It was just super inspiring, and it was like you don't get 15-minute rundowns. Like in the Grammys or the Oscars or any of that crap. So the way that really makes it way more interesting. And like I said, the performances were, there's like all-star stuff and everyone's up there playing and like I said, all the big names. So this is a thing everyone needs to try, attend it. It's just going to get bigger and bigger. And then we won't have to give a shit about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just like the Grammys, it's just metal is meant to be underground. It's meant to be our own thing. It's our private club, and we shouldn't give a shit whether the Grammys acknowledge it or whether the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame acknowledges it, because they're all a bunch of idiots when it comes to metal, and we need our own thing, and now we got it.
Awesome. That's very cool. That's very, very cool.
It's inspiring, man.
Well, yeah, it's inspiring. It's relevant, and I mean, I would imagine it's something where artists, in rock and roll and metal can actually feel good about going in, like it's, one of those awards, I would think, one of those recognitions that, again, it's just like, I can almost see where if you're getting snubbed from that, it'd even feel worse, than the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Because Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's going off on such a freaking tangent, where it's like there's no rhyme or reason almost to what kind of musical artist is going in there. It's like everything. Even the Country Music Awards, they have their own awards. If you're not country, you're not going into like, the Country Hall of Fame, whatever it may be. It's like, but metal is, that's like it's siloed unto itself. And that's where we can see like Death Dealer and Cage and the Three Tremors going, right?
I got a chance. Maybe there's a chance. The other thing is they induct like, legendary promoters. Like they had, I can't remember the guy's name, Starwood or something. This guy
cool.
that like, was the first one to book, Iron Maiden and Metallica and stuff. And he had a fascinating story. And those kind of people get inducted too, not just musicians, people that contributed to the development of the scene and the genre. And very cool. And like I said, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And they did it right. And I think maybe the Tremors were supposed to perform this year, but it was like a scheduling thing. We couldn't do it, but
right.
Maybe we might play next year. Who knows? It'll be cool if we do.
Well, I'm very excited. I'm very excited about that. And for you, of course. And again, everybody, we are here with Sean the Hell Destroyer Peck, one of the most amazing metal voices on the face of the earth, as you will hear.
The most. The most amazing metal voice.
I'll put you on the Mount Rushmore. How about that? Yeah. But
that's cool.
I mean, with the Three Tremors, again, Death Dealer and Cage, unbelievable work that you're doing. As we wrap up here, what are some of the most immediate things that people should be paying attention to coming out of your music camp? We're talking about, we're talking about going on tour, obviously, with the Three Tremors. That's imminent. That's going on this month. What else you got going on? Any new music videos coming out?
Well, we just released the Sonic Suicide radio edit music video, which is really cool. It's like it brings you back to when you're in high school, because it's a kid kind of rocking out in his bedroom he gets expelled from high school and for wearing a metal shirt, and he just goes into this room and rocks out to the Three Tremors. Sonic Suicide, everybody please go and watch it. And Cage just released Darker Than Black on vinyl, which is a big deal. And we re-recorded the Science of Annihilation album, which is called Science of Annihilation Reannihilated. That's available on cageheavymetal.com or the steelcartel.com website. And we also just released the Three Tremors solo versions, a 3-disc version of the original album where I sing the whole album, Ripper sings the whole album, and Harry sings the whole album. That we thought was just going to be kind of a collector's fan thing, and it sold out like within the first week, and so we had to totally unexpected. So we repressed that. So that packaging is really cool looking. The Three Tremors, the solo versions.
I did see the packaging. Yeah, that looks cool. I'm glad you put that out too. That's really cool because it's one thing to hear all you guys together, but then when you hear everything cut up where it's you guys individually, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's a unique product. I don't know that it's ever been done like that before. So I'm always trying to innovate in the idea department when it comes to heavy metal. One last thing on the Hall of Heavy Metal, the Hall of Fame, what the hell they call it?
The Heavy Metal Hall of Fame.
Heavy Metal Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Metal musicians, I'm biased, but we're the greatest musicians in all the genres. We have the best guitar players, the best drummers, the best, most powerful singers, and we can walk into any studio and just blow doors off these pop people or or the rappers that can't even sing, and this music that they can't even play an instrument. So it's we know that we got the biggest firepower in music, and that's one of the things that attracted me to metal in the first place. It was like everyone is at their metal is no limits and pushing everything to the limit, and we're putting the rest of the music genres on notice.
Right on. Well, Sean, thank you so much for your time again, man, and just love you, man. I mean, and I look forward to everything you've got going on. I can't wait to catch up with you when you guys make it back out here eastward. So that'll be awesome. Awesome stuff. But dude, you got to stay away from this.
Thanks for having me, and sorry about your Eagles, dude. It was a bad year for my Chargers too. It was
horrible. Yeah. Rub that in. Yeah, it's brutal, man. It sucks. What a crappy feeling, And hey, I don't think I'm even going to pay attention to the Super Bowl. Good for the teams that are in it, whatever. I don't care. I got no dog in this hunt at this point. But you, my friend, you got to stay healthy. You got to stay away from these, these athletic escapades of yours, man. You're going to fall apart.
Man, getting old sucks. But, man, thanks for having me, Scotty.
Right on, man. All right, so I'm Rock Titan. I'm Scotty J with Rock Titan live here with Sean the Destroyer Peck. Yes, indeedy. We're out.